Hey there, what's going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. I don't know where Sheets is at yet. I'm going to run through this NBA slate really quickly. And oops, I got to change the title on this. Tuesday. It's obviously a strange slate. It's not one that I like very much. I'm actually not playing much, and I'm not feeling too hot. I don't know what happened to me this afternoon, but I feel like I got hit by a truck or something. So I think that this slate basically boils down to that Brooklyn San Antonio game. Like that's basically what we're talking about, and who do we want to play from Brooklyn? I actually would lean more on Curry, Ben Simmons, and I probably would play some Sumner, assuming that he does start. And I think TJ Warren would be in all my lineups. That's where I'm starting. But I think you might want to play 4 Brooklyn guys. The only thing I want to caution people is Brooklyn is probably going to play 10 guys today. And that makes it like it's not quite like I don't know. It scares me a little bit if you don't get the right ones. And for me, like I said, Curry, Simmons, TJ Warren are my top 3. And everybody else I feel like is okay. I'll have some Sumner, some Harris, some Watanabe, some Royce O'Neal, some Claxton, but mostly it's those 4. It's those 3 is the big ones, and then I'll filter the other pieces in. But I do think you're playing Curry, Simmons, and Warren in most of your lineups. At least I will have those in all mine. That's sort of where the slate starts. Where it gets interesting is what are we doing outside of that game? Because I do think you could make an argument just for a pure game stack there and play, whether it be Trey Jones or Keldon Johnson with Podol or with Collins or with Sohan. I think that like getting a 4-2 makes a lot of sense just based on the nature of the slate. So I like the idea for trying to reach up for some of these Spurs guys that don't seem individually like they might be tremendous plays, but I think that game stack makes the most sense, and that's how I would be building on this slate. I think you have some other values that we should probably go through. Joe Ingles, I'm fine with Joe Ingles, but I don't feel like I need to play him. With Milwaukee, as far as that whole situation goes, without Giannis again, I think you're going to have to play Holiday. So most of your spots, this is like a really weird tournament slate. Most of your slots are taken up for you. Holiday, 3 or 4 from Brooklyn. I think 1 from San Antonio, whether it be Johnson, Trey Jones, whichever spend up you want to use there. Podol. I think those all make sense. And then you have Holiday already, but like it's hard to get off the board on this slate, which is partly why I don't love it. And I think using anything from Toronto to get part of the Milwaukee stack, I think that becomes the best way to play this slate. And sort of, you're unfortunately not paying as much attention to the Denver Portland situation. I do think Lillard is interesting, but I don't like that he's going to be so popular at 9,500. So I'm probably not going to do that myself. But I do think that he is a really good play just in his own right. And now plays we talked about earlier in the early video, guys like Nurkic, who I think are interesting. I would prefer spending for I have Embiid a little bit ahead of the Jokic play, but it's close for me, and I think that you're going to get some low ownership there. The Milwaukee guys, this is the hard part, Rich, to answer that question. Like, I do think Holiday is the most obvious one. Obviously, you play Holiday. I think Bobby Portis is a good play, who'd be my next guy. But at these prices, I don't think you need to make sure to play Allen, Connaughton, Carter. I personally would side with Carter a little bit more because he's the cheapest of them all. But I don't think you need to play them at these prices. I think they're all fine. I don't have them as being tremendous plays. And even at without Giannis, like we're used to that. We've seen that enough games now. It's the prices and the user, the usage is basically we know what to expect, which is that it's going to be a wide range of outcomes for guys like Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Javon Carter. But those are other value guys I would look at. I think Carter would be my favorite. I think Bobby Portis is my favorite play other than Holiday in the game, along with Joe Ingles. And I just think that they're all decent and they're all in play, but it's not anything I feel like I have to do. I'm going to make sure that Sheets is okay because he usually shows up and I don't know where he is. So So hopefully he'll respond to that text. Anyway, guys, let me know if you have any other questions or thoughts. Like I don't have a whole lot else. I think that, like I said, the slate kind of builds your thing for you. So you have 3 or 4 from Brooklyn. I think 4 makes just as much sense as 3. I like having the run back with San Antonio. I think Keldon Johnson's my favorite. I don't mind Podol or Trey Jones. And I think that then you play Holiday with potentially, if you wanted to use the other Bucks, that's okay with me. I just don't think you have to. And I think the ownership is a little too skewed because at one point Giannis is projected to play today. But I would get some exposure to the Toronto side. That's going to be the low owned part of things you can do. And that's why I want to force in a piece from Toronto and a piece from San Antonio. Jamal Murray on FanDuel. What is his price on FanDuel? Let me just double check. Yeah, I think Jamal Murray is fine on both sides, actually. So I'm good with that, Clay, if you want to do that. Other than that, sorry, guys, I'm not feeling so hot. And I guess we're not going to have sheets here for live. So I think I'm going to get out of here just to answer any other questions you guys have, because like I said, I'm just like, I feel like I got hit by a truck today. And it's not a very fun NBA slate. We have a much bigger, interesting one tomorrow. But it's just hard to get really creative outside of, I think, the plays that we already went over. Some other guys you could use, I think using some Zubac would be another low-owned play that you can get some exposure to. I mentioned that I like Embiid personally. I think you could use Harden if you didn't want to play Embiid. I think Lillard's going to get all the ownership of the later games, so I think that playing anybody else as a spend-up is an interesting way to go. Seth Curry is already, I just said it at the beginning, like if it didn't matter how many lineups I'm playing today, Curry, Simmons, and TJ Warren would basically be in all of them. So that's where I'm at with Curry. But other than that, guys, I think I might get out of here because I'm just not feeling well. Sorry to say. And any other questions, pop them on in there. But I don't have a whole lot more to go through from my side of things because I think it's a pretty straightforward slate and not a very fun one, unfortunately. For what it's worth, I have Curry rated ahead of Joe Harris, regardless of starting. And I think that's the way I would leave it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe so you make sure you get a notification whenever we're going live or anything like that. If there's any other questions, I'll be in Discord the rest of the night. Make sure to tag me. It's the best way to get a hold of any of that stuff. And other than that, I'm going to get some sleep and try to rebound for the main slate tomorrow. I have a family thing with my kid in the morning, but I will be back for live in the afternoon, and it should be a much more fun slate, much more interesting than this one. Anyway, good luck to everybody out there, and thanks so much. Hopefully somebody can take something down. Again, I'll be in Discord all night.